Hello, hello. So this is Lisa from Inbalance Pilates. We wanted to welcome you today. We're live. Hello. Welcome, Hayley. We want to welcome you to this feature interview series today. Hayley, it is so beautiful to have you here. I just want to start by saying thank you so much for coming on today.
Well, thanks for having me. Such a pleasure. Always a pleasure to be around you and with you in any form. So, love being here.
Thank you for being here. So Hayley is the CEO of the Soul Sparkle Global Experiences and the creator of the Soul Centered CEO. And today I'm so excited that you're here to tell us some tips on becoming a Soul Centered CEO. So Hayley is also a mentor to women leaders. She is an author, and you definitely have to tell us about your book that is coming out. And tell us also about how you lead global service trips. We'd like to hear about that. And I'm really happy and excited to have you here today because you are one of the most memorable people in that you just bring so much magic and energy to any room you enter. And so I'm just so honored to have you here and share you with my friends and bring you on. So
So sweet.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's fun to hear about all those things. I'm like, wow, there's a lot going on, isn't there? But it has been a pretty fabulous adventure. And I know today we're supposed to focus around the CEO part, but just a couple of the quick things, bits and pieces about the experiences. I have been in the past. Obviously, some of those are on pause right now, but really the joy of bringing people together. And I love to create beautiful and magical experiences, specifically for women. Now with this new project that I'm working on right now, the Soul Centered CEO, that's bringing men into the container as well, which is super fun to have kind of the masculine and the feminine together. So we're having a great time with that. And then the service trips were really around a beautiful community of women in Nicaragua. And we were able to build some homes for that community and help them start businesses and things like that. So it's been a pretty beautiful adventure and journey.
And it was wonderful to hear a lot of that story in the gathering in your group last week, to get
Yeah.
to hear that story. That was really wonderful. And what year was that you were there? Like, when was the most recent?
Well, let's see. I went in 2016, 2017, and 2018 for sure, a couple of times in 2018. And then in 2019, they had a lot of political unrest. And so we had to end up canceling our last service trip there. But hopefully we'll get to go back at some point soon. So when everything settles down in the world.
And that's top of your list of one of the main places you want to get back to?
Yeah, well, there's still so many places. I mean, I traveled full time for right at 4 years. And so there's still places that are very near and dear to my heart that I hope I'll be able to go back to. But yeah, so blessed and so lucky to have gone when I did, so I'm so thrilled.
Yes, the retreats that you've hosted over the years, and definitely, I'm sure you'll be doing that again. And I mean, the fact that just again, the being able to pivot and do, continue networking and gathering and creating community online, which you're so amazing at doing. And again, just radiating that supportive, magical experience. You definitely have a way with bringing that out in other people and allowing them to shine. So it's such a wonderful experience. And so tell us about your upcoming program. I believe does it start next week?
Well, we're right now welcoming people into it, and we're going to start at the first of the year. But this is a really special group of people that I think is going to be such an extraordinary community, and there's a couple of reasons why. One is that these are people that are in business, right? They've already got a business in place. They're ready to scale their business, but they also have a heart for service. And part of this mission with this soul-centered CEO movement and this collective that we're creating is really bringing people together that have, big dreams and big visions, but also really want to make a big impact and leave a legacy. And so the whole intention, which is what you experienced last week in the gathering, was kind of to give an experience of what it would be like to be part of this collective and really bring people together that, like I said, are ready to scale their business to kind of that from 6 to 7 figures, with the intention that as we all make more, we are able to give more. So the mission really is that as a collective, we would give at minimum $1 million a year for the next 10 years as we're growing and expanding in our own way. So it's a big vision, when you have a really big one, but it feels so beautiful and so possible and so magical, because again, part of what we talked about last week is that we don't have to do life alone. We're not meant to do life alone, and we don't have to do business alone either. And we can create these incredible partnerships and collaborations that can really help bring these dreams to life. And my philosophy has always been that when one of us rises, we all rise. And the more we can support each other in helping other big dreams come true, we are together as a collective going to be able to leave a really beautiful legacy in this work. So yeah, that's kind of the embodiment of what I would consider a soul-centered CEO. Like, what does it mean? It means that you are ready to step into the next level of your life, of your leadership, of your light, of your service, and also be willing to help others do the same, and also be willing to donate a portion of that blessing that you receive in order to give back to others. So that's in a nutshell kind of what we're creating and what the movement really is about. So it's very exciting.
That's wonderful. And I mean, I love what you said. Like, it's so important to have that connection and community and to be there for each other as everyone's rising up together, and just to share that support. And when you are surrounded by people that are, living their purpose and knowing that we are here to serve others and connect and build that community,
Yeah.
it's just such a nice thing to share with others. And
Well, and I think also the support, right? I mean, you're an entrepreneur. Like, it takes an incredible amount of courage and um, just discipline and determination to keep going. Like, you are completely on your own, most of us, right? When we go on this journey. And
mm,
so it's essentially been, at least for me, so beautiful to have people that can help hold the vision and encourage me and be like, okay, keep going. Like, we believe in this. We believe in you. We trust this is going to be an amazing experience. And I think that for me has been a huge blessing, not only for myself, but also what I see for this collective is that you're not going to be alone. Like, you're going to have this community that is going to support you and cheer for you, because I mean, goodness, we all need cheerleaders every now and then, don't we?
we
So
do. We
yeah.
do. Actually, it's one of the breathing exercises that I do in my program is called the 3 wins breath. And it's about, think about your small wins in your life, think about your big wins, and really focus on those, because it's so important to cheer for yourself, cheer for others, just be that, person that can radiate that support and care, to really care about helping your friends and community rise up and reach their goals, right? Because
Well,
sometimes
you're
we have.
always so good at that. Like, you're such a blessing in that way. You've always been like so supportive and so sweet for anything that I'm doing. So I can only imagine members of your community are like, oh my gosh, I love being in your group, because you do that for others as well. So I just want you to know that. And I appreciate that so much.
Thank you, and to you as well. But yeah, it's so super important to have that support and that community, and to look to others for just getting new ways, new tools as business owners. There's so many different tools and apps and ways that we can save time and be efficient, and to have someone that's really has that word of mouth and that inside information can save you a lot of time. So I can imagine being in a collective like that would really help accelerate those goals and wins.
Yeah, well, and we also, one of the cool parts to me is that we will have very special guests that are $1 million business owners. They've already done it, and they're willing to come and share, their wisdom and their learning, and hopefully help. We can learn from their mistakes, right? And so that's always, I think, of benefit when you can learn from someone that's already done it. And so, that's a huge part of what this collective is really helping each other grow and expand with as much ease and grace as possible, which is what we all want in our lives, I think. So yeah, I think it's going to be a beautiful just opportunity to learn from each other and to take what we can and really actionable items. I think that's really important too, is to actually just take action and do things and be willing to try new things. Like you said, new technology, new tools and resources, whatever it is. I think that is so important, is just take action, like take a step and make it happen. So super excited about it.
And having that accountability, I'm sure, as well. Sometimes as business owners, we can, depending on how dreamy and creative we are, we can tend to get carried away with all the things and all
All
the
the
dreams.
tiny sparkly things. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so having, those people that can help reel us in, stay on track,
Yeah.
help us really be accountable to staying consistent and doing things daily to reach our goals.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that accountability element.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
there'll be a smaller group option too, like a mini little family pod, like the soul pod, those are the people I think that'll be able to help really on the day to day, just like help provide support and feedback if you have questions. Like it's like your little hotline, your the red phone hotline. So yeah, that's going to be a huge part of it too. And then we also have, there's a huge part around expansion and growth that has to do with just the energetics of it, right? The frequency and the vibration that you need to hold in order to receive wealth and abundance and more expansion, and then keep it, right? So be able to hold the frequency where you're able to bring that in and maintain it. So there's going to be a huge part of that we'll be doing, working with the energetics of it, the frequency of money. And then the other piece that I'm super excited about is really based on connection and relationship, because I think what we're trying to create is just a new way of doing business. Not that business hasn't always been based on relationships, but what it looks like is different now. We can't go to events, we can't go to conferences and retreats and spend time with each other face to face, which to me is always the most, exciting and deepening, if you will. But the other piece that I think we're trying to replicate is that feeling of like this kind of dinner party experience. Like you're sitting around the table with these incredible humans. Like, what's the conversation? Like, what are you talking about? What are you asking for? Are you asking for invitations to collaboration? Are you asking for, a connection to someone? Like having that level of conversation in a virtual format. And that's going to be in it's called the CEO Supper Club. So those are kind of all the elements of what we're creating, trying to replicate what we would be doing in regular life, but in a virtual format. So trying to help deepen the connection and have those beautiful conversations that we would normally be having that we don't necessarily have the opportunity to now. So
And Hayley, I mean, just being able to ask for the things that you need, especially, if you've been in business on your own for a certain amount of time and you're used to running the show, this, that, and the other. Being able to turn to others to ask can be a learning curve, right? Having but being able to ask from someone like yourself that just radiates that support and community and connection. Again, like what a gift just to be able to know that you have that support. So
yeah, I think it's going to be beautiful. And I feel like now more than ever, right? We need to readjust how we're doing things. And it just feels like the perfect timing. I've had this, how sometimes ideas take time, right? Especially when you have a million ideas, right? But, this one has taken a few years to really anchor and ground in to reality. And I think, of course, it took until right now. Of course, the timing is always perfect. And the world might not have been ready for this a couple of years ago. But now, under these circumstances, it just feels like this is exactly what the next evolution of how we do business looks. So it's always interesting how things work out as far as the timing, but it's always perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely been many ways that we've all had to adjust and go with the flow and, change all the cliche terms of making lemonade out of lemons
All
and
all of them,
or you're just going to be left behind in
right?
misery, right? Like it's definitely been a time of, okay, where can I look at on the bright side? Where can I change? What are the things that I was good at before that I can still maintain? Is it the maintaining those connections and community and being able to transfer it over to the online space, right? And sure, we were doing it before, but yes, it's that different for people that maybe never wanted to do anything on camera before or on video, just being able to learn new tech that way.
Mhm. Exactly. I'm fairly decent now with Zoom, but I'm certainly not a wizard, right? And there's still so many learning curves, right? For all of us, I think. And I
Yeah.
think that everyone is being stretched and expanded in their own way, right? And so, yeah, but I do feel it's interesting that you say that about just taking our gifts, and one of my gifts that I feel like I've been using in the fullest capacity is just creating the opportunity for people to gather and come together. And I love that so much. And I think that's why this next evolution of what that looks like feels really good to me, because I'm just going to try and transfer that gift and just to a new modality, a new way of doing it. But I love bringing people together. I love creating the relationship and those connections. So it just feels like a natural transition too, which is lovely, since international traveling is not really available right now. So, but one of these days we'll be back. We'll be back in doing that.
Oh, one of these days for sure. You'll have your in-house Pilates instructor at your retreat right
Yeah,
here, and all the things that
that would
we've
be amazing.
discussed in the past will come.
We'll dream it up. Everything's
Exactly.
possible. So exciting.
But that sounded absolutely wonderful. And again, the fact that, with you leading it, as I've mentioned, you just radiate this safe place to be and be who you are and, be yourself and discover those gifts and that. And not everyone is able to radiate those things. And you truly, truly do. And that is like a
That's
huge
great.
gift that your community has.
So lovely.
Yeah. And then can you please tell us about your book, your
Yes,
next book?
yes. So it's called Invocations, Prayers and Blessings to Illuminate Your Life. And again, work in progress. It was actually supposed to be done 6 months ago. Not quite done yet, but it's going to happen. I really felt like giving people some tangible exercises, some real, in your hands things that you can practice every day to help yourself just stay centered and grounded and calm and peaceful. We need that. We need that. So it's going to be 7 different sections, and then there'll also be accompanying album. I'm like, what is the word I'm trying to say? So everything will be recorded. All the meditations will be in a lovely little album, so people can listen.
Oh,
Versus,
wow. So meditations come along with, oh,
yeah.
amazing. I cannot wait for that to come out.
Some people are like, oh my gosh, I don't really need the book. I just want to listen to you on the meditations. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever works. But so hopefully that will bring some grounding and some peace to a lot of people. So I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
Oh, well, I'll be excited to share that and all the details when they come out.
Thank you. Yeah.
For sure. And then you've got the program coming up, and as you mentioned, you're welcoming people into it
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
of now, kind of thing.
Yep.
And what is the best Facebook group to find you at, or Facebook page?
Well, a couple of things. My name, so Hayley Hunter Hines, is where I can be found on both Facebook and Instagram. Hayley, Hayley Hunter Hines. And then the website, soulsparkleliving.com, is where most of the magic happens. So that's where all the details for the Soul Centered CEO are located. But, if people reach out here, comment or whatever, I'm happy to have a chat and discussion and see if it's a good fit, because it's not for everyone, but it's for people, again, like I said, that have already got a business, around that 6-figure mark, that really are ready to scale. So it's not like a business 101 course or anything like that. It's more just you're already doing your thing, you're in it, and
Mhm.
now you just want your $1 million money map strategy, and then we're gonna go from there. So it's just super exciting. I did my first one with one of the first members today, and it feels so good, because it's just like, oh, this is so possible. It's so doable and so available if you can just map it out. So it's like right here. I'm like, $1 million money map. It's available. So I
Yeah.
want more people to just step into that and believe that it's possible, so that way they're able to expand in a really beautiful and amazing way. So yeah, the registration for the 2021 year is available until Monday. And so if anyone has questions, they can reach out directly, and happy to connect, and we'll do the gathering another, next year. I do that once a year. And you're part of that group now too, where we
Mhm.
just try to give people an experience of what it
And
was.
I mean, as I was mentioning to you, I already implemented some of the fantastic tips from over last week, and that's the thing, when you know, like, and trust someone, you're eager to implement these things, and as you said, just having someone to help map it out, to help keep you accountable, and share out and be that connector where you need it, right? Relying on that community and connection to really help be that word of mouth, and that person to turn to, when you know of someone an expert in that field, right? To be
Yeah,
able to pass on those connections are really golden connections for sure.
they really are. And really, if we
Yeah.
think about it, that's all that business is. It's just connections and conversations.
Yep.
And it's sharing what makes sense, and in making introductions that make sense, and just really being able to help each other. And so I feel like it's gonna be an amazing year, I think. And I'm super excited to just, be surrounded by people that have big hearts and big dreams. I love that so much, and are willing to go deep in relationship and conversations, and really get to know people and be able to help support them. Because like you said, it's one thing to know people online, but then when you really get to spend the time and go a little bit deeper, that's when I think the magic happens, because then they believe in you, they understand your mission, your vision, and they can help support that. And that's really what this feels like it's all about. So yeah, so exciting. You're so lovely. Thank you so much for just being able to share the opportunity to visit with you and meet your lovely community. I know that you've.
Oh, no, my pleasure. And one last thing, do you currently have any meditations out there? Like, are there any that people can purchase through your website
Yeah,
or?
they can buy some. There's some things on the website. They also should
Okay.
be able to download a free one
Okay,
on the
perfect.
website, the Net of Light.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think that's still available. So if
I've
they
experienced some of your meditations in person, and just absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I would highly suggest that everyone head to your website and look for that download, because so relaxing. And especially now, we need to find those things that deliver that inner peace and calm, whether it's meditations, breathing exercises, whatever keeps us really positive and productive, those kinds of things. So
We need it
Yeah.
all. Do it
And we
all.
need it all. Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you so very much for coming on today. And if you've tuned in, definitely put replay in the comments. Would like to circle back and say hello. And we'll pop any details with website and that in the comments as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so, so very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a lovely week and we will talk to you soon. Bye.